What it do? Today we're gonna talk about why you keep relapsing, right? What I notice with myself is the moment when I relapse is a moment where I can no longer make sense of the chaos that's going on within me, right? The moment when I go too deep into my thoughts, right? And see the chatter as facts is the moment when I relapse. I think there's a lot of problem. It's a problem that a lot of people struggle with. You get some motivation, right, to quit all the bad habits, and you're on the journey for some weeks, and that feels good, right? But then eventually the chatter comes back, right? You eventually you get the same impulses that you were running away from, right? And what I noticed with myself is we just gotta let the mind chatter. Because it's quite normal, right? When you're not distracted, when you're no longer indulging in all the bad habits and addictions that you used to have, right? What will happen is the mind will throw a lot out of there, because normally you just put a blanket over everything, right? And now all of a sudden your mind is open. You're no longer distracting yourself with smoking. You're no longer distracting yourself with eating, doing whatever, right? You're no longer distracting yourself. Now all of a sudden you might be thinking about things from 3 years, 4 years ago. And you get in a chaos, you become in a chaos. And sometimes we go so deep into the chaos that the only way out is through the things that we actually want to keep away from, right? That's a pattern that I noticed within myself so much. It is actually stemming from a fear, that the fear of actually changing. Right? The fear of actually changing. I noticed that with myself. The moment when I get under that, when I'm 3 weeks in and I just clean, all of a sudden I realize that there is a lot under the surface. Because that's the thing, right? We want all the good benefits that come from semen retention. We want the good benefits that come from no longer smoking. We want the good benefits that comes with eating clean. But what we forget is, there happened so much maybe into your life that caused you to indulge in all these addictions. So many things could have happened, right, that caused you to become addicted to what you're addicted to what you're struggling with. So the moment you stop that, your mind will throw out a lot of things. That was actually the first time that I started to remember, basically, was a couple years ago, when I stopped smoking and I became vegetarian. So I started eating a lot healthier, right? All of a sudden I remember things from years ago, things that I never truly remembered, right? Now all of a sudden I started remembering them, and that caused a lot of chaos, right? That caused a lot of chaos. And before I knew it, I was indulging back into bad habits. You know, and that's something, it's like a lot of people are in that stage where they're just flirting basically with the self-improvement, but never going deeper than just the surface level, right? And that's where we want to get, right? So like I've said, the point of this video is the moment you stop bad habits, right, know that a lot of things will probably come up to the surface, but you gotta let your mind chatter no matter how negative it is, because at the end of the day, it's not facts. What you need to remember is the mind is just a tool, bro. It's just a process going on. It's just like you scrolling onto your For You page. It is personal information coming in because it's coming in your For You page, right? AKA your mind. But not every part of the For You page, aka your mind's algorithm, is right. Not every algorithm going on in your mind is correct. The thing is, bro, thoughts don't have no polarities. Thoughts cannot be good or bad. All you have is just certain associations that you have with thoughts and certain emotional triggers that you have with thoughts, right? That's all there is. There is not a lot to thoughts, right? Thoughts can never be facts. It's just the process going on, and you really need to remember that, because otherwise you will stay stuck, right? Basically like me, how I always just hit that rock, right? That's why I also said, like, it's not letting the mind chatter, right, comes from a fear of the possibility of what your identity will become or who you will become when you just let the mind blossom, when you just let the mind go, right? It's like you got a flower, right? If you attach a stick to the flower, right, then you will make sure that the flower will grow along the stick, right? So let's say this is the stick, this is the flower. You see it in gardening a lot, right? They put a tie wrap attached to it so that the flower will grow into the direction of the stick, right? But if there's not a stick and you just let the flower blossom how it's supposed to blossom, then you will let nature do its thing. But the thing with nature is not perfect, right? And that's also something why a lot of people are addicted. They have a view of themselves that they should be perfect, and they forget about all the things that they might went through, things such as trauma and things like that, right? So they will judge themselves for it, right? They will judge the flower for not being a perfect flower. Well, while that's not the purpose of nature, aka life, right? Nothing is a fact. 9 out of 10 things are not a fact, right? If you look at it in a grand scheme, there is a concept as an ugly person, but the real fact is there is no ugly person. There is no metric system for being ugly. It all is just a person's preference, right? And the same with your mind, right? You need to let the mind chatter. The things that you may be running from, the chatter of your mind, will maybe be the things that will cause you to truly grow and truly become who you need to become, right? So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna end this video. Thank you for watching. Like I've said, you need to let the mind chatter if you want to stop, if you want to become the person that you need to become, right? That is the person that's no longer self-medicating with whatever, right? With candy, with bad food, with smoking, with masturbating, all those things, right? We want to become a person that can actually chase their goals But in order to do that, we first need to let the mind chatter while we're on this journey of finding out who we are, right? And this all comes down to the previous videos that I made, right? If you want to change, right? If you want to change, you need to first go without, right? All the bad habits, and the mind will chatter, but that's just a normal part of it. And with that, I'm gonna end this video. I thank you for watching. I'm out.